Louganis. What an athlete! Greg Louganis is your gold medal winner. Everybody's wondering, well, when is this kid going to falter?
I didn't feel welcome in diving. There was homophobia. Some of my teammates were calling me a fag.
Had he been a straight athlete, he would have made millions.
I was HIV positive.
The best diver in the world is going through all this.
I just wanted to hold the blood in.
My name is Greg Louganis. I'm gay, and I'm HIV positive.
They'll say, an Olympic gold medal is worth millions. That's not the reality. Sometimes you have a good month. Sometimes you have nothing.
He reinvented himself.
I'm sharing my experience, sharing what I learned, one step at a time.
Welcome to Queerguru TV, and congratulations on being given the Equality Florida's highest honor, the Voice of Equality Award, I think it's called, that recognizes you for your passion and commitment to move our community closer to full equality. What does this mean, this award, to you?
Well, it's a tremendous honor, to be recognized, just for the work that I do. I mean, I do what I do. I go out and I share who I am, and sensitize people. I've been involved in summits, where it's really incredible education about LGBTQI issues, and also with HIV, AIDS, and so it's and also mental health. I mean, I address all of these issues because they're a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
They have affected my life, and so I just share myself.
So you're now a leading gay activist and also a HIV awareness advocate. What do you think we should do as a community more to help towards our own equality?
I think that the biggest thing is really coming together. I know that it's funny because I've done so many summits and have learned so much, and I highly advise going to some because I know a lot about the G and the LGBTQ.
Yeah.
And but I had to learn a lot more about, I have lesbian friends, and,
Mm-hmm.
some of them prefer to be called gay women, and also trans, that was something that was kind of a learning process for me. Transgender, I had the privilege of being on stage with Alexandra Billings.
Mm-hmm.
We did Larry Kramer's Just Say No, and so it was just wonderful to hear her story and her journey, and it really is an education because it's almost like you have to learn a whole new vocabulary. It's almost like learning a new language, in order to speak respectfully.
Yeah.
To the various individuals within our community, and education is so important, and especially being a part and inclusive to the LGBTQI community. It's important that we all educate ourselves. Speaking with young people, you hear a lot more about being sexually fluid.
Yeah.
And so it's, because they resist the labels.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they get it better than we do.
Absolutely.
And it's, it's really refreshing to see that. And when I'm with a group of young people, they, go around the room, state your name and pronoun.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how they want to be referred to, and and how they see themselves, and that is, something that most people don't take the time to do, even within the LGBTQI community.
Can we go back to your own story? I mean, when you opened up with your book and that excellent documentary that Cheryl Fujanak did on you, I was very moved on how you allowed her to start the film, when you were going through a tough patch personally, why did you allow her into your life like that?
Well, it started with Breaking the Surface, the book back in. Well, that was a journey because I was doing Jeffrey in New York and playing Darius, who I was able to play out my fantasies and also my fears, because Darius was out and proud and on TV and in Cats, and but he also dies of complications of AIDS, but his spirit comes back, and I felt delivered the most poignant message of the play to the lead, Jeffrey, and telling Jeffrey to hate AIDS, not life. And so, through that process, I was with the show for 6 months, and, I turned to a friend of mine and I said, I want to write a book. And so he put me in touch with Eric Marcus, and it was, I'm so grateful because Eric was so thorough. And he left no stone unturned. There were some times I wasn't ready to talk about a lot of the things that we talked about, and we wouldn't talk for days. But it really forced me to take a good hard look, and I knew in order to be truly authentic, I needed to deal with these things, but also, kind of work through it. It really helped me work through a lot of those things. And then once I was on book tour, I had no idea what was going to happen. Of course, I had Reverend Fred Phelps following me around periodically, and that was a lot of fun. And so, so there was, but mostly what I saw was outpouring of love.
Yeah.
People were coming to me saying, look, my best friends haven't shared this much of themselves with me. I mean, I feel like you're my best friend, and then going on to share their stories and how my life has touched their lives. So, I knew the power in that. And then when I was approached by Cheryl Frjanik, back in, I think, 2010, she's a documentary filmmaker at NYU and teaches documentary filmmaking. And so she said, Greg, you've had such an incredible impact on the LGBT community and HIV AIDS community, but the problem is, if you're over 27, you don't know who the heck Greg Louganis is, and I want to change that. And so it was like, okay. So then they moved in with me for about 3 years, and I had no idea what they were going to come up with. And it was interesting because the first screening, I remember that first screening in New York. It was, it was a rough cut, and there were times it was very nostalgic. Sometimes it made me laugh, and other times, I was like squirming in my seat, thinking, "Oh my God, people are going to see this." Especially like the financial, thing about losing my house and all that.
About that. That's what drew us all to you, was the sheer honesty of that. And not say, you didn't say stop filming. You were
right.
This is, being British, this was really my first major introduction to you. I knew who you were, but I didn't know about it. And it takes a big set of balls to do your dance. But for me, it took a bigger set of balls for you to come out about your HIV status when you did. How tough was that for you?
It really was, something that I felt I needed to do for myself. And so, that's the reason why I really wanted to do that. It's that old, saying, the truth shall set you free. And so, that's kind of how I viewed it. And that's what happened.
But you were very honest also about your own personal life, because you're very brave. You're a very famous, good-looking guy. You admit to not having a boyfriend, and you go on Match.com, and you gave us all hope. You not only found a boyfriend, but you found a husband too,
Yes, I did. I found
very
my
publicly.
husband. Yes. Well, you know what? I mean, in the world that we live in today, I mean, it's like, it's such a fast-paced world. And, with all the travel that I do and as hard as he works, there was, you know, I'm not going to go to a bar. I'm not going to, and hang out. That's just not my thing. So, or any of the circuit parties or anything like that. That's not who I am. I know that that's out there, and people, is a part of their life, but it's not a part of mine. So, So how else are you going to meet somebody?
Oh, I was shocked. I loved it. It was a very sort of moment. And if that's not enough, you shamed all of us that are getting old by appearing naked in ESPN last week.
I know.
And,
Oh my God.
it's like, try to rub it in. You look
You
so
know what? It was funny because when they approached me about possibly doing the body issue for ESPN, I'm like going, oh my God, I'm 57 now, but I was 56, and they approached me to do this, and I'm like going, okay, give me some time. I mean, I gotta get in shape. I gotta get to the pool. I gotta work out. I gotta look good. But I felt like I was doing it for the right reasons. And, yes, I was 56. I wanted to show that, even though I'm retired and I'm in my 50s, that you can still stay fit, have a healthy lifestyle. Also being HIV positive since, I was diagnosed in '88, years, it just, for all of those reasons, to be an example, a positive example, of what, age and HIV, being HIV positive can look like.
you did it for all the right reasons, but you made us all feel bad. So, Greg, what are your thoughts now when you see openly gay sportsmen like Tom Daley, who do you think their careers suffer at all by their openness?
Who I see as the pioneer is Matthew Mitchum. He came forward about his sexual identity while he was still competing, because and that's what really struck me, is that in an interview he said that he didn't feel like he could compete on that high level, only sharing a part of himself. And so, I really admire Matthew Mitchum for that, which obviously I think made it much easier for, Tom Daley to, come forward about his sexual identity. And also, I mean, it was a time for Tom, because he's so young, in, recognizing that. Because the first person you have to come out to is yourself. And then, then it's a continual process.
So, Greg, you're a full-time Olympic champion whose many records remain still unbroken today. You're a mentor to young sportsmen. You're a hero to our community, and also an expert on dogs too, I believe.
Yes.
If you had a choice, what would your legacy be?
What would my legacy be?
What would you like your legacy to be?
What would I like? It's simple. I think that I think it's everybody's goal and aspirations to make a difference in the world, and in a positive way. Being human is that we want to make a difference. Whether that is meant being a big brother to a young kid, mentoring. Teachers, coaches, I think that there's so many people who touch so many different lives in so many different ways on so many different levels, that we all can make a difference.
You're making a mega difference, and I'm pleased we're honouring you with this award. And thank you for taking the time to talk out to me. You've been a hero since I saw the movie, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Tearing down the platform at Mission Viejo for renovation, and this is where I started diving. This is where I learned a lot of my dives through my career. So it's time for a renovation for both the platform and me too, probably.
I can't believe I'm about to do a synchronized dive for Greg Louganis, if I'm honest. It's a long way out. This is the first time I've been in the pool since Rio, so I feel a little bit weird about the whole situation. But we're going to try and figure out a synchro ankle rock and give it a go.
How you feeling? Scary! I'm terrified!
Get like a